Last night's episode of WWE Raw turned into an unforgettable night of complete chaos, drama, and betrayal that shook the entire WWE Universe. What was supposed to be a moment of teamwork and unity quickly devolved into a brutal and shocking act of treachery that left fans speechless. Seth freaking Rollins, the self-proclaimed visionary and former world heavyweight champion, found himself on the receiving end of a ruthless attack that could very well change the course of his career and reshape the Raw landscape forever. The betrayal came from none other than Bron Breakker, one of the most powerful and explosive young superstars in WWE, who made a thunderous statement not just in the ring, but also backstage afterward. The night started out seemingly normal, with Rollins joining forces with Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker to take on a trio of common opponents. The chemistry between the three men appeared solid throughout the match. Rollins, as always, carried himself with charisma and confidence, rallying the team and guiding the younger superstars as they dominated much of the contest. The WWE Universe watched as Rollins and his teammates displayed impressive coordination and brute strength, almost as if they were building a foundation for a formidable new alliance. The visionary seemed to be mentoring the younger talents, offering words of encouragement and demonstrating his leadership in the ring. But what Rollins didn't know was that a storm was brewing behind the scenes, one that would soon explode in his face. As the match concluded, Rollins celebrated with his partners, extending his hand in a show of sportsmanship and camaraderie. For a brief moment, it seemed as though the veteran had successfully guided two rising stars toward greatness. However, that illusion shattered in an instant when Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker turned on him without warning. In a shocking and brutal display, both men ambushed Rollins from behind, unleashing a savage attack that left him sprawled in the middle of the ring, motionless and defeated. The betrayal sent the WWE Universe into an uproar. Fans couldn't believe what they were witnessing. Two men Rollins had trusted, turning their backs on him so violently. The arena echoed with boos as Reed and Breakker stood tall over the fallen Rollins, their alliance now cemented in blood and betrayal. The commentators were stunned, struggling to find words to describe the sheer magnitude of the moment. What made it even more shocking was the cold and calculated nature of the attack. There was no hesitation, no remorse, just a brutal statement of dominance and a clear message to Rollins and everyone watching that the landscape of Raw was about to change forever. After the show, the drama didn't stop. Backstage, cameras caught up with Bron Breakker, who was still fired up after the ambush. Standing beside a stoic and intimidating Bronson Reed, Breakker delivered one of the most intense and confident promos of his career. His words were filled with conviction, his tone dripping with disdain for Rollins and everything he represents. Breakker stared straight into the camera and declared, "Seth Rollins' time as the visionary is over. It's time for the next generation to take over Monday Night Raw." It was a bold and defiant statement that instantly set the internet on fire. The message was clear. Breakker was not content with being just another superstar on the roster. He was ready to seize control, to dismantle the system Rollins had built, and to usher in a new era, his era. He continued his verbal assault by saying, "You built this brand, Seth, but I'm about to break it, starting with you." The intensity in Breakker's eyes said it all. He wasn't just issuing a warning, he was making a promise. With Bronson Reed standing behind him, arms crossed and a sinister grin on his face, the image was haunting. It was the birth of a dangerous new alliance, one that could wreak havoc across the entire WWE locker room. Reed, known for his unmatched power and ruthless aggression, has long been considered one of the most dangerous competitors in WWE. Pairing his brute strength with Breakker's explosiveness and youthful energy creates a terrifying combination that few could stand against. Together, they represent the next generation of dominance, younger, hungrier, and far more vicious than those who came before. For Seth Rollins, the attack was both a physical and emotional blow. The man who has prided himself on being one step ahead of everyone, the visionary, the architect of his own destiny, found himself blindsided in the most humiliating way possible. WWE officials later reported that Rollins was furious and immediately demanded revenge. Sources close to the situation say Rollins stormed through the backstage area, shouting for Breakker and Reed, demanding that they face him man-to-man. But the two men were nowhere to be found, having already left the arena, their message delivered loud and clear. In the aftermath, the WWE Universe has been buzzing with speculation. Why did Breakker and Reed turn on Rollins? Was this a personal vendetta or part of a larger plan? Some believe Breakker has been frustrated for months, feeling overlooked by the veteran stars who continue to dominate the spotlight. Others think Reed, often underappreciated despite his size and power, saw an opportunity to align himself with someone equally ambitious and hungry for control. Together, they might believe they can dismantle the old guard and reshape Raw in their own image. Breakker's words, though few, carried massive weight. When he said, "It's time for the next generation to take over," it echoed through social media. Fans immediately began to speculate that this could be the beginning of a new movement, one that symbolizes the rise of a younger, more ruthless generation ready to overthrow WWE's established veterans. Rollins, despite being beloved by fans for his charisma, skill, and passion, may now find himself targeted by those who see him as a symbol of the past. The question now is, how will he respond? Historically, Rollins has never backed down from a fight. He has been betrayed before, and each time, he has come back stronger, more determined, and more dangerous than ever. This time, however, feels different. The betrayal came not from old enemies, but from rising stars he tried to guide. It's a painful reminder that in WWE, trust is a dangerous thing. With the entire locker room watching, Rollins must now decide whether to retaliate immediately or bide his time and strike when the moment is right. Meanwhile, Breakker and Reed seem poised to take over Monday Night Raw, sending a message not just to Rollins, but to every established name in the company. The old era is ending, and a new one is beginning. Their alliance represents brute force meeting ambition, a combination that could spell trouble for anyone standing in their way. Backstage reports indicate that WWE officials are closely monitoring the situation. There are rumors that management may book a confrontation between Rollins and Breakker for next week's Raw, possibly setting the stage for a heated rivalry that could define the brand heading into the next pay-per-view. The WWE Universe is already buzzing with excitement, eager to see how Rollins will respond to being humiliated and attacked by two men he once stood beside. Will the visionary rise again to reclaim his dominance, or has Bron Breakker already crushed the beginning of what could have been a resurgence for Rollins? The tension is thick, and the story is far from